Hello and welcome back to Nelson All Over Cards. Today we are going to be talking about the Unlimited Power Progression League Season 2. This is the Star Wars Unlimited Escalation Progression, there's a couple of different names for it, league that I do with a couple of different content creators for the Shadows of the Galaxy. What this means is we're going to start with the starter decks, either Mandalorian or Moff Gideon, and every single round, and it is rounds where you did weeks last time, but we're extending the rounds to 2 weeks just to kind of give us a little bit more time to get our games in. We add 3 packs to those starter decks in order to try and modify and make them a little bit better for 8 total weeks. So that's a full box to modify our decks. We've got an awesome cast of content creators that are going through this season with me together. We've got me, we've got Ryan from Man vs. Meeple, we've got Marty from Rollin' Dice Taking Names, CNSpartan from CNSpartan, KennedyHawk. I know him from Marvel Champions Monthly, but KennedyHawk does so much content, and so he's everywhere. We've got Astrodar from the Alter Ego Chronicles, and then Brandt from Step Into the Portal. So we got 7 teams going on this season. It's going to be awesome. All of their links are down below. Make sure that you follow them along. Now, I actually do have a bye week or a bye round, I should say. It is rounds. We do have a bye round for round 1. I was traveling during the first week of it. I was just out of town. And so my bye week, since we do have an odd number of teams, was this first round. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to start and crack and open 6 different packs. Now those 6 packs are for round 1 and 2, and we're going to be modifying the pre-con, go through a little bit of deck building, and see if we can create an epic little start to our deck. So let's hop down to the table and crack some packs. Oh, welcome. Alrighty, so top down, we have the Mandalorian starter deck and the Moff Gideon starter deck. The way that the rules work is you have access to any of the cards here. You have access to any of the color bases, so if we just don't pull a aggression base, we can use an aggression base, and we have access to all the cards that we pull from our pack. Now I just have a box here. I don't know if this is going to be the box for the Progression League. I got a couple of boxes, and so I think we're just going to start grabbing packs, but I felt like it'd be kind of fun to just pop a box open. And we are going to be modifying the deck. Now, as we're doing this, let's talk about some deck building stuff. Because this is a limited kind of series or way that you can play, there are, we're looking for value, pretty much, is how we're going to do that. Let's pop this bad boy open. Oh, it's so nice. It's so fun to look and open up new cards. Ha ha ha. Excellent. So, Mandalorian likes upgrades. The whole Mandalorian theme is kind of upgrades around playing on different units. When the Mandalorian plays an upgrade, you can exhaust a enemy, or I guess you can exhaust your own unit, but you can exhaust a unit, I think that costs 4 or less remaining HP. Kind of the same thing on his deployed side. Moff Gideon, on the other hand, gives bonuses to like less powerful units, and so a unit that costs 3 or less, you can attack with that unit, and if it's attacking a unit, it's +1/+0 for the attack. And then on the deploy side, it gets Overwhelm. Each friendly unit that costs 3 or less gets +1 and gains Overwhelm while attacking an enemy unit. And Overwhelm means that whenever you attack an enemy unit, excess damage is dealt to that enemy's base. So, no idea where we're going to go with. I think I kind of like the idea around Moff Gideon a little bit more, but the packs that we crack are going to be what dictates how we build our deck. So, we're going to just go, we got 6 packs. We're going to open it up here. And the other thing is that we can change these decks as many times as we want in between rounds. And so if we go with a Moff Gideon for, I guess, round 2, because we are skipping round 1, it's our bye week, we are going to go Moff Gideon round 2. We can switch it up and go Mandalorian or anything that we pull. But let's pull a showcase. That'd be pretty hype. Okay, we got Hondo Ohnaka. Hondo Ohnaka is all about playing cards with the smuggle keyword, and whenever you do so, you can exhaust this leader and give an experience token to the unit. So this is, oh, little cat hair. This is what Hondo is doing. I think Hondo is a little bit harder to run unless we get a lot of smuggle stuff. He does deploy on 6. He gets a raid 1, and then when you play a card using smuggle, you can give an experience token to the unit. I do like running Hondo if we have a lot of smuggle and you can upgrade some Mandalorians. Got the Death Watch Hideout. Alright, we got a Black Sun Starfighter. So this already is looking good for Moff Gideon with that 3 attack, or that cost 3 or less. Sentinel 3/2 in space. I'm going to go ahead and do this like I would be running a sealed or a draft event. I'm going to be divvying the cards up in different aspects. So like we'll put this over here. Got another space. Got the Wanted Insurgents. 3 cost 4/4 bounty. So bounty is if when this unit is destroyed, you do your opponent gets that benefit. Deal 2 damage to a unit. So drops, really efficient stats. Downside for that. The Outpost Constables. The I don't know how to say any of these. When played, you can attack with the unit. If you have the initiative, it gets +2/+0 for this attack. Really good stuff there. Ooh, I do like the Saboteur here, meaning that you can defeat shields, which is pretty big, and bypass Sentinel. Since this does cost less than 3, we can use it with Moff Gideon. That overwhelm a Sentinel, or the overwhelm defeat a shield into a unit is pretty decent. Bounty is drawing a card, which can be kind of rough. Frontier Trader, Smuggler's Aid, heal 3 damage from your base. Smuggle, there's another Smuggle, but Hondo is a villainy unit. This is a Smuggle for a heroism, so kind of hard to use that. There's Ambush, Chainco Collector, Cassian Andor. Alrighty, so here's our first, our first uncommon. He costs 3, smuggles in at 5. He's a 3/5, which is just a really, really solid stat line for a 3 cost. And whenever you play this using smuggle, you can ready this unit. Really, really solid stuff there. I like Andor. Enticing Reward. Search the top 10 cards of your deck for 2 non-unit cards. Reveal them and draw them. This would be great for Mandalorian, right? This is a upgrade. So you play this, you can exhaust a unit. Then you can go find more upgrades. I kind of really like that for Mando. Give another unit +2/+2. Oh, it's a Snoke. Woo! Alrighty. Well, that kind of sets into motion the villainy route of this set. Supreme Leader Snoke. So he drops on 8. He's a 6/6. Each enemy non-leader unit gets -2/-2. Brutal. Alrighty, it looks like, we pulled the bomb, and whenever we're looking at kind of like a limited format, you want to run bombs. Supreme Leader Snoke is that, and then we've got a twin pod car as our holo. So looks like we're going to be running something in villainy, and probably a blue, either leader or base. It does kind of make Moff Gideon look a little bit not as enticing. 8 is a lot of resources. That's the other hard part. When you're running 8, you are kind of running more of a control speed of a deck. But let's pop a Cura or something and get something good here. Oh, it's a Ray, not the villainy, but Ray. We can give a experience unit to a experience token to a unit with 2 or less power. Restore 3. Put that there. We don't need these. Timely Intervention. Gentle Giant. We are getting a lot of really good heroism units, but that Snoke is so nice. We got Bounty Hunters. 2 damage to a unit with Bounty. I do like Bounty Hunters. Attach unit gains Bounty. Give a shield token. Ugh. If it has a bounty, it costs 1 less to play. We are just being handed some of these bounty stuff. Ooh, that's a nice looking hyperspace. Night Owl Skirmisher. When an enemy unit has bounty, oh my gosh, we got a lot of stuff going in for bounty. We may just run the bounty stuff. I mean, Snoke is so good though, and bounty. Typically, I'm thinking Mandalorian when I'm thinking that. Return an underworld card from your discard pile to your hand. Not a ton of underworld support. Fellow the Dragon. Defeat a non-leader unit with 5 or more power. If we are going to be running a more tempo-based deck, this is a nice way to kind of get rid of some of those high drops. Maybe a Snoke if someone else drew one. We got when you play an upgrade on a unit, you may deal 1 damage to that unit. It's pretty nice. It doesn't really fit in with Mando because it is that villainy. We got the upside down. Ooh, I do like Spark of Hope. Spark of Hope is a choose a unit in your discard pile. If it's defeated this phase, put into play as a resource. So it helps with that ramp. It is a heroism, so we're kind of being pulled in two different directions. And really, Snoke is kind of the main thing pulling us towards the villainy side. I could see a Rey green deck starting to form here. Rey does kind of like to prolong that game state because she does have the restore. She can really heal. This is a nice little ramp option for us. We got Wrecker. We do have Wrecker here. Overwhelm. When played, you can defeat a friendly resource. If you do, deal 5 damage to a ground unit. He drops at a 7/6. Pretty decent rare there. And then our Lurking TIE Phantom. Raid 2. And then this unit can't be captured, damaged, or defeated by enemy card abilities. That's our... We'll put the hollows up here. Okay. So far, it's feeling pretty decent. What have we opened? We opened a... Okay, yeah, we haven't opened a bow. I did play a Bo-Katan sealed deck, or draft deck at Gen Con. I really enjoyed that. Alrighty. Here's our showcase right here, right? That's what this is. Ooh, it's Gar Saxon. Ooh, that's a... Ooh, I do like a Gar Saxon here. So each friendly upgraded unit gets +1/+0. It is a blue villainy, which does lean into that Snoke synergy. That's kind of interesting. We haven't drawn a ton of great upgrades. We've drawn a couple of bounties, which are upgrades you don't want to put on your own units. So that may be tough, but we do have a Jabba's Palace Hyperspace, which is nice. I do not like this card. Outlaw. It's bounty. Put the top card of your deck into play as a resource. So you do ramp the other player. Tough. Pike Sentinel. Blue Villainy is looking good. Desperado Freighter. Hey! Tree Tender. We got Grit. Warbird Stowaway. Gunship. Deal 1 damage to a unit or a base when defeated, so that's kind of nice. Wanted attached unit gets bounty, ready 2 friendly resources. Criminal Muscle, return a non-unique upgrade to its owner's hand. Mando's getting a little bit of love. Discard a card from your hand, draw a card. L3, when played, you can rescue a captured card if you don't give a shield token to this unit. And then Smuggle, you can smuggle it in for 4. Do like that. Search top 5 cards for your deck for 3 units and reveal them. We got This Is the Way, which helps us go find some Mandalorian cards. We got General. When played on attack, choose a friendly unit. If it has Sentinel, give an experience token to it. Otherwise, it gains Sentinel for this phase. That's in the wrong spot. Interesting stuff. And then our Hollow is a Foundling, which is giving the Mandalorian trait to the attached unit. We did that. I mean, it's a nice little upgrade. Okay. So we're 3 packs in. We've got a bomb with Snoke. 8 is a lot without ramp. Now it is a limited format, and so especially in these earlier games, we're probably going to be going a little bit longer than kind of the standard constructed. But let's open up 3 more packs and see what we got here. Oh, it's a Boba Fett. Ooh, interesting. It's a Hyperspace Boba Fett. So this is when you play a unit that has 1 or more keywords, exhaust this leader. If you do, give a friendly unit +1/+0 for the phase. Deploys on 6. It's a 4/7. So that's pretty interesting. There's a lot of keywords in this set. And so like L3 is a smuggle. That could be kind of interesting. Got Village Protectors, Sentinel Shielded, Reckless Gunslinger, deal 1 damage to each base. Just go aggro there. Rickety Quad Jumper. Fill the top card of your deck. If it's not a unit, give an experience token to another unit. Pirate Guards, Ambush Smuggle. I do like an ambush there. 4 for a 3/3 is a little tough, but you can ambush it in if we're running Boba for a 4, which is nice. And we do have a little bit of ramp with Spark of Hope if we run Boba in green. Have we gotten any green we got two green villainy cards. Heroic Renegade with Grit. Outland Tie Vanguard, giving an experience token to another unit that costs 3 or less. Moff Gideon really likes that. Smuggler Starfighter. When played, if you control another underworld unit, give an enemy unit -3/-0, and you can smuggle this in for 4. Grey Squadron Y-Wing. You deal 2 damage to a unit when on attack. McClunky. Return a friendly non-leader underworld unit to its owner's hand. Deal 3 damage to a unit if you do so. We got Armed to the Teeth. Attached unit gains on attack. Give another friendly unit +2/+0 for the phase. Smuggle for 4, and it is a +2. That's pretty interesting. Each friendly unit named Zuckus gets +1/+1, gains ambush, and this has ambush. We got Commission. Search the top 10 cards for a Bounty Hunter item or transport card, reveal it, and draw it. Smuggle that in. And then we got a rare Stolen Land Speeder. So when played, if you played this unit from your hand, an opponent gets control of it. And then Bounty, if you own this unit, play it from your discard pile for free and give an experience token to it. So you have to take it out. So you give them a 3/2. But then you can then get it back for a 4/3. That's pretty interesting. And then we got a Crosshair. Ooh, Crosshair. So as an action, we spend 2. Unit gets +1/+0 for this phase. And then we can exhaust it to deal damage. We're basically sniping. So there's no retaliation there. Alrighty. Let's just keep going. Crackin' packs is fun. We got another Hondo. We got some smuggle. Enforcer, desperate attack with a damaged unit. Hawk. Reputable hunter, if an enemy unit has bounty, this costs 1 less to play. Getting a lot of bounty stuff. Wanted insurgents. Getting a lot of red. Principled Outlaw. On attack, you can exhaust a ground unit and then smuggle it in for 6. That's kind of interesting. Chain Code Collector, Ambush. If your defender has bounty, I'm feeling a bounty deck coming on. There's a lot of interesting bounty stuff, which could be a Mandalorian, could be a Boba Fett. We'll see. The Armorer. When played, give a shield token to each of the 3 Mandalorian units. My draft to Gen Con, I drafted 3 Armorers and just a full Mandalorian deck. It was awesome. Ketsu. Ambush. And then we've got a rare for Kira. Alrighty. So when played, look at an opponent's hand, name a card. While this unit is in play, each card with that name costs 3 more. It is a 3/5 for 4, which is pretty nice. And then we've got a on attack, exhaust the defender. Alrighty. One more pack. One more pack. It's really hard not to run that Snoke, but I'm just not seeing a lot of synergy with that without that Snoke. We got another Ray. Excellent. Bounty. Probably not running that one. Ninja Post Constable. Got another one of those guys. Another Foundling. Another Patrol Wing. That's nice. That's some nice tempo. Ooh, Daring Raid. That's a pretty hyperspace. I really like that hyperspace there. And do that. Smuggler's Aid. It's a heroism. Turn non-unique. Hunter. When an enemy unit has bounty, give this unit shielded. That is a villainy. Raid 2, Restore 2. Sundari Peacekeeper. Kind of like that with a Boba Fett. Another guild target. Got a rare Imprisoned. Attached to a non-leader unit. It loses its current abilities and can't gain abilities. I do like that. I do like that. And then we've got a modded cohort, ambush raid 2. There. I'm kind of thinking Boba Fett. Mandalorian also looks pretty nice, especially because we have a lot of different like bounties, because he comes with a good number of bounties in his kit. I'm pretty sure. Grogu is hilarious. Does he? We do have the Razor Crest, which returns an upgrade from a discard pile to your hand, so we can collect those bounties over and over again. We got Public Enemy, Wanted, Rich Reward. Return an enemy non-leader unit to its owner's hand. Collect that unit's bounties for spare the target. That'd be nice. Do we have any bounties in Moff Gideon's deck? I don't remember. Gideon's light cruiser also drops on 8. We do have a top target. Do have a legal authority. Price on your head. I forgot about price on your head. We do have ramp with green there. That's kind of interesting because we have price in your head, spark of hope. It kind of makes me, yeah, I think we're gonna run Boba Fett, but what do we ramp into? I think that's kind of the problem. We don't really have anything that we're like ramping into. Because Snoke is villainy, and so let's go. No, we have a general. Yeah, that's kind of nice.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
You know what? We're going to pause the video here. I'm going to think, because this is going to be a lot of thinking, and we'll come back after I've got my thoughts all straightened out. How about that? Okay, I think I have settled on the deck. Now, we will see how it goes, but we are going to go with a Moff Gideon blue deck and really lean towards the lower end of the cost curve. As you can kind of see, I've splayed the cards out here, but everything here is below 3, meaning that Moff can give that +1, and then also while Moff Gideon is deployed, they get +1 and Overwhelm. So nice to have that +1. The Overwhelm, we'll see how we want to trade. I think it's going to be very much a tactical decision on when and if we want to trade into those Overwhelms, because I think that this could be a tempo deck depending on who we're playing. Now, the entire goal is to use Super Laser Techs and Price on Your Heads to ramp to 5 fairly quickly. And then, because I do think that we will be a little bit longer of games, especially in these early rounds, we can ramp into Snoke and then Gideon's light cruiser over here. The light cruiser can play a couple of things. I'm thinking the light cruiser because when it's played, if I control Moff Gideon, I can play a villainy unit that costs 3 or less. I'm thinking Snow Trooper Lieutenant. I'm thinking Seasoned Shore Trooper because at that point they will be a 4/3 because they will have that bonus. And then if we have Moff Gideon deployed, they'll be a 5/3. So that's pretty nice with Overwhelm. Pretty sweet there. And then we have some Sentinel stuff. And I think the Sentinels, so we got like Phase 3, we've got Cell Block Guards, we've got Pike Sentinel here, we've got a couple of Sentinels in space. But really I'm hoping that the Sentinels can protect Moff Gideon because I want him to be around for as long as possible to see how that goes. We are running some bounties down here, not a ton. I think once we do get a little bit more, or a couple more of those bounties, we may add some of those in and then run more calculated lethalities. Those were cut out of the deck. But the cost curve kind of jumps from 3 to 6 here. We got a couple of 4s down here. I went with 2 Fell the Dragons just for some removal because I think the ramp from 3 to 8 can be a little bit of a struggle. And I think we're going to look to flood the field rather than try and like play on pace. And so if we can kind of flood the field, once we hit 5, we can flip and then get a lot more +1/+1s. Hopefully make some pretty efficient trades at that point. I think we'll be good. We do have the client, which gives bounties We do have some healing, so I think if we can ramp, and it's just going to be more of a tempo kind of deck to see, are we going to outlast our opponent, or do they have the stronger late game, which will be kind of hard to figure out. We do have Relentless Reserve or Remnant Reserves to go and grab some more units. When you're playing a lot of these units, something bad, or one of the bad things that could happen is that you just run out of cards, and so Remnant Reserves does help us get hopefully 3 more units. The deck is pretty full of units, and so that's going to help us grab our bomb, which is Snoke, or the light cruiser here, right? But we have 3x of these, so there's more likely that we're going to see this. But Snoke on a drop can be ruthless. Snoke also with the combination of Moth Gideon I think is pretty good, because every enemy non-leader unit gets -2/-2. Moth giving Overwhelm is going to get 2 extra damage onto that base if we are looking to attack out through a unit. So there's a lot of kind of interesting things going on here, but really it's keeping that cost curve low. Either pushing damage pretty quickly towards the base and seeing if we can maybe ramp into like a 5 and a Gideon drop, or see if we can make some efficient trades, play a little bit more tempo into 8, go with those light cruisers and Snoke, see what goes on. So that's the deck. I am starting round 2. I forgot who I'm playing, honestly, but I am looking forward to trying it out for the first time. That deck, the game will be not live, but it will be out there, either on someone else's channel or on my channel. We will see how that shakes up, but just make sure that you're following along, and I'll point people to that video when it does come out. Thanks all for hanging out. Let me know what you think about the deck, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Peace.